these may be perfect times to explore contrast. Hello, my name's Chet Davis, and this is Reflections. During this pandemic, during the times of the COVID virus, when many of us are sheltering in place to protect ourselves, our family, and our communities, it may be an ideal time for us to do what's called explore the contrast. It may be difficult. You may be dealing with medical issues. You may be dealing with financial issues. You may be dealing with a job loss or a job loss of a significant other, a family member. And I'm not suggesting these are easy times, but I do believe it may be a valuable time for us to reflect on those things that matter the most to us. Several people have been talking about this during the COVID virus times, the opportunity to reflect on those things that we find valuable, we find important, that we love. And those things may be that we don't have access to now, and we'd rather not. That's what I'm talking about in terms of contrast. We think of contrast as opposites. You know, there's black and white, there's light and dark. And I know in the realm of video that I've been teaching for more than 30 years, contrast is an important part of the technology, the ability to differentiate between the lighter parts of a scene and the darker parts of the scene, and to set up lighting to ensure there is sufficient contrast. That's one of the reasons I videotape myself in daylight and outside, is because the lighting is sufficient to give me good contrast between lights and darks. But as we look at that in the rest of our lives, the contrast explores those things that we love and those things that we don't like, or even that we hate. And maybe during these times, those things are even more vivid. And it's an opportunity for us to identify those things so that as we return to whatever degree our lives will be in this next phase, we can consciously choose to look for, to plan for, and to cause, to whatever degree we are able to experience those things that we want in our lives once again. Maybe it has to do with your job, with your workplace, those things that, if you're sheltering in place, those things that you miss. Maybe there's people that you miss. Maybe there's responsibilities and tasks and functions that you miss doing, that you want to make sure in this next phase of your life you are able to return to, because those things bring you fulfillment. Maybe there's elements of your job that now, looking in hindsight, when you have a moment to breathe and recognize, you realize, holy smokes, I hated doing that. And you can identify, hopefully, ways that you can return to some kind of a job where you can not have to deal with that. But we need to reflect. We need an opportunity to practice perspective and identify those things, again, that we want to return to, and those things that we want to push out of our life's experience. Maybe it's seeing if it's a different role. Maybe it's seeing if I can hire someone else to do that. If you're an entrepreneur, can you offload that to a virtual assistant who will take care of that task for you, or those kinds of things. So take this opportunity to first reflect, then identify, and then write down. Because when you get back into a rhythm, it's easy to fall in a rut and just do those things because they're expected, or just do those things because they come along the way, instead of consciously deciding, I'm going to focus on this because I believe it serves the people in my life. I believe that it brings me fulfillment, it brings me joy, it brings me pleasure. It's my area of passion, and focus on being able to put yourself in a place where you can thrive and find passion in the things that you do, along with those things that we must do. So as a professional coach, one of the three questions we ask people nowadays is, what have you identified that you need to start doing to accomplish your goals, to accomplish your mission, to find greater fulfillment? Again, what is it that you can start doing? The second question, what is there you need to do more of? Maybe you're doing a little bit of it already, and for some reason maybe you haven't prioritized the time, or maybe you need to learn something to be able to do more of that thing that will bring you fulfillment, that will help you find passion, that will serve others with a greater degree of success. And thirdly, and this is the one that some of us get stuck on, what do I need to stop doing? Because there's so much time in a day, and I believe there's more time than we often realize, but what is there I need to stop doing in my life because I recognize now that it does not bring me fulfillment, that it does not push me further along where I want to be that person that I'm able to be, that I was born to be. So again, what do you need to start doing? What do you need to do more of? And lastly, what do you need to stop doing? Take a moment and really truly sit down and write these down and reflect on these as life turns into whatever the new way it's going to be for you and for me, for our society. That's your goal, that's your challenge for the next few days. And in the next couple of videos, I'm going to share some additional reflections on moving towards whatever this new normal is, so that you can consciously, intentionally decide how you're going to choose to show up. My name's Chet Davis, and this is Reflections.